Hello students, let us start our new session of chapter number 5, Laws of Motion.
Now, let us understand another topic, circular motion. While object is moving in a circle form having a radius r, in that even though it is moving in a uniform speed, its direction is continuously varying, which accelerates the object in that circular form. This having a v square by r directed towards the center. This, according to the second law, the force Fc providing from the center of the circle which accelerate the object, that force Fc equal to mv square by r, where m is the mass of the body and v square by r, which is the acceleration of that object. This force is directed forward the center is called as a centripetal force. This circular motion of a car on a flat and banked road gives interesting application, and let us go through it in detail. Let us understand first motion of a car on a level road. While any car or object is moving, experiencing it by the three forces based on the weight of the car and the gravitation force due to earth, that is the mg force, always directed vertically downward side. Normal force, that is from the surface of the object at the normal direction, n. And third force, that is the frictional force, that is in the parallel, that is a parallel force between surface and the object. From the diagram, we can say that normal force and mg force are in the opposite direction. The car can be stationary due to that these both forces n and mg are equal and in opposite direction. So we can say that n equal to mg. Now, centripetal force is required for a circular motion along the road, which provides by the component of the contact forces between road and the car and tires along the surface. This definition is due to the frictional force. So static force is applicable, and that provides the centripetal acceleration. So centripetal force Fs equal to maximum static force Fs equal to mu s n, and centripetal acceleration generated by the force F equal to mv square by r. Let us equate both the values. And we are having v square less than or equal to mu s rn by m, and v square equal to mu s r g. Here n equal to mg value is substituted, so which is defined that velocity of the object that is independent of the mass of the car, and gives the value mu s and r for the maximum speed. V maximum equal to under root of mu s r g. Now, let us calculate the velocity of the car on a bank road. So as you can see in the diagram, on the banked road, again three components of the forces are applicable: mg, vertically downward direction, and normal component of the object, surface of the object, and frictional force, parallel component between surface and the object. So here theta angle is available between the vertical direction and n, which gives you the two component n cos theta and n sin theta, as you can see in the diagram. And frictional force F again generates a theta angle with respect to the horizontal direction, and it will give you the two components F cos theta and F sin theta. So from the diagram, we can equate these forces that n cos theta equal to mg plus f sin theta, and that centripetal force is provided by the horizontal component nf. So from that we can define, from the diagram we can define that n sin theta plus f cos theta. This force, which minimum value of the force is required if object gets a motion, that external force F is required having the value m v square by r, that F equals to ma, a replaced with the v square by r. So by equating this value we are having n sin theta plus f cos theta equal to mv square by r. And as we know, maximum static friction F s equal to mu s n, which generates a maximum velocity v maximum. So from that above equations we can say that n cos theta equal to mg plus f replaced by the mu s n, so that is mu s n sin theta. So here the n from another equation n sin theta plus mu s n cos theta equal to mv square by r. So in both the equation we are replacing f equal to mu s n. Now that resultant two equations we are equating from the 5.20a, let us make the subject of formula n. So value we are having n equal to mg upon cos theta minus mu s sin theta. Now substitute the value of n in the 5.20b equation and make the subject of formula velocity v. So we can get a maximum velocity of the car, which is v maximum equal to rg into mu s plus tan theta divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta under root of all the value, which gives the speed of the object. Now at this speed friction force is not needed to provide the centripetal force, but if that velocity is less than v0, then frictional force will build up the slope and the car can park at the angle tan theta less than or equal to mu s. Now let us go through the example regarding the same. A cyclist speeding at 18 km per hour on a level road takes a sharp circular turn of radius 3 meter without reducing the speed. The coefficient of static friction between the tires and the road is 0.1. Will the cyclist slip while taking the turn? Here we need to determine its velocity and then we can define that whether the cyclist will slip or not. So on the banked road, friction force alone provides a centripetal force which is required to keep the cyclist moving while he is taking turn without slipping. If speed is very much large or the turn is very much sharp or both things will be possible, at that time only frictional force is not sufficient to provide that centripetal force. So the condition for the cyclist not to slip, that is maximum velocity v square, should be less than or equal to mu s rg. Here the radius of the circle is given 3 meter, g is 9.8 meter per second square and mu s coefficient is given 0.1. So mu s rg we are having 2.94 meter square per centimeter square. This is what the v square value. Take the under root of it. So v equal to 18 km per hour. Let us convert into meter per second. So it would be 5 meter per second. So here we can say that the condition is not fulfilled and the cyclist will sleep while taking the circular turn if v square would be 25 meters square per second square. So here the cyclist speed is 18 km per hour. He is taking a turn by 18 km per hour. If we are taking its v square, we are getting 25 meters square per second square. And maximum v square speed would be limited by our calculation, that would be 2.94 meters square per centimeter square. So the speed of the cyclist is very much higher than it's required. So cyclist will sleep while taking a circular turn. This is how we can define it. Now let us take another example. A circular race track of radius 300 meter is banked at an angle of 15 degree. If the coefficient of friction between the wheels of a race car and the road is 0.2, what is the optimum speed of the race car to avoid wear and tear on its tire, and B, maximum permissible speed to avoid slipping? Actually, on a banked road, the horizontal component of the normal force and the friction force contribute to provide a total centripetal force to keep the car moving in a circular turn without slipping. At the optimum speed, the normal reactions component is enough to provide the centripetal force, and the friction force is not needed. So here the optimum speed V0 is given by under root of mu s rg. Now this mu s is we are having by the angle 50 degree, so that would be tan theta. So here mu s will be replaced by the tan theta, and we are having the equation V0 equal to under root of rg tan theta. R is given in the example 300 meter, theta is 15 degree, g is 9.8 meter per second step. By substituting all the values, we are having V0 equal to 28.1 meter per second. And maximum possible speed, we are having V maximum equal to under root of Rg mu s plus tan theta divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. So this value we are getting 38.1 meter per second. Now let us go through the another topic, solving problems in mechanics. Now in mechanics, actually number of objects, number of bodies we are going to assemble to drive any particular system. This particular different bodies, while we are going to assemble, which generates a force onto each other. Each body also experiencing a force of gravity. So while we are going to solve this kind of problem, we can choose any part of the assembly at a particular time and apply laws of motion onto that part. For that, we include all possible forces applicable on that chosen part onto that remaining parts. Here this chosen part of the assembly, let us define as a system. The remaining part of the assembly, let us consider as an environment. While we want to solve any problem in mechanics, we need to follow some systematic method and we need to follow some steps. First step is that draw the diagram which is showing schematically the various parts of the assembly bodies, their links, support, system, everything. That how many number of components are going to be assembled with that particular system. Now choose a convenient part of that assembly from that one system. Now draw its separate diagram which shows that system and all applicable forces onto that system by that remaining parts of the assembly. We are going to include all the forces applicable onto that particular object. We are not going to include the forces available due to environment. So that diagram is known as a free body diagram. In this free body diagram, we are going to include all the information regarding the magnitude of force and direction, and the rest should be treated as unknowns to determine using laws of motion. We are going to follow the same procedure for another choice of the system. Based on that, Newton's third law can be applied, and free body diagram of A, the force on A due to B and reaction from B to A based on the free body diagram of B can be defined as a minus F. So here let us go through the example regarding the same so we can understand the steps very easily. See in figure, a wooden block of mass 2 kg rests on a soft horizontal floor. When an iron cylinder of mass 25 kg is placed on top of the block, the floor yields steadily and the block and the cylinder together go down with an acceleration of 0.1 meter per second square. What is the action of the block on the floor? A before and B after the floor yields. Take G equals to 10 meter per second square. Identify the action and reaction pairs in the problem. So here, as we can see in the diagram, while only wooden block is available, so it is having a two forces. From the free body diagram, we can see that mg force experienced downward side, mass of the object 2 kg, g is 10 meter per second square, so mg equals to 20 Newton. And normal component of the force is available vertically upward side in opposite direction. It should be with the same value. So we can say that R equal to 20 Newton. So based on the third law of Newton, this mg and R both are having the same value in opposite direction. Now from another diagram, we can see that iron cylinder is applied onto the wooden block. So the total system will accelerate at downward side with the acceleration 0.1 meter per second square. So here we can, in free body diagram, mg would be m having a two components, wooden block plus iron cylinder. So wooden block having the mass 2 kg and iron cylinder having a mass 25 kg. So total mass m equal to 27 kg, g equals to 10 meter per second square. So here now we are having mg equal to 270 Newton. Now as in the example it is given that by applying the iron cylinder, the total system accelerate downward side. So the normal component of that total system, which is defined as R dash, should be less than mg. So total equivalent force applied onto the object, that is F minus F dash, equal to mg, ma. So F is 270 Newton minus F dash is R dash equal to m, that is the total mass of both the object 27, and acceleration a is given, that is 0.1 meter per second. So here we are having 270 minus R dash equal to 27 into 0.1 n. So R 0.1 Newton. So R dash we are having 267.3 Newton. So here we can say that vertically upward force, that is a 267.3 Newton, and vertically downward force, that is a 270 Newton. Downward force is more, and that's why the system is accelerate at downward side by its net affected force. Now if we go through its action reaction pair, so for case A, the force of gravity due to the earth will give the action, and the force of gravity onto the earth by the block whatever the force is applied onto the earth, which defines the reaction. Both are having the 20 Newton upward direction and the downward direction, same value, equal and opposite. So here the action and reaction are available with the same magnitude in opposite direction. Now for case B, the force of gravity we are having 270 Newton, so that is on the system by the earth, and the force of gravity on the earth by the system, it should be 27 Newton, that vertically upward direction. But as we can see in the diagram, that reaction force is not same. So the force on the floor by the system is action, and force on the system by the floor, that is a reaction. So the force on the block by the cylinder and the force on the cylinder by the block will also generate the action reaction pair. So action reaction pair generates a mutual forces which should be equal and opposite between two bodies. This force on same body happens to be equal and opposite, which never constitute action and reaction pair. This action and reaction pair, these forces must be on two different objects. Onto the same object, this pair of forces cannot be applicable. So the force of gravity on the mass in A or B, and the normal force on the mass by the floor, that is not action and reaction. These forces happen to be equal and opposite, where the mass in the rest, and they are not in the case of B. So here the weight of the system is 270 Newton and its normal component is 267.3 Newton. Clear? Here we are going to end this session. With that we are going to end this chapter. Hope you understood the whole chapter thoroughly. Thank you.